So I don't dream about anything else besides renovating houses, valuing the houses, or something connected to the war. And I'm not even joking, this has been my reality for the past couple of months. Property is quite addicting, and every property investor who I spoke to says the same thing. Once you start, it's very hard to stop. You keep on looking around, you see houses, and you cannot get rid of the feeling that you want to buy this house, renovate it, and feel good about providing a good accommodation for some nice people. Hello guys, so my videos about me investing into property continues. I still don't know what to do, but I structured my options in my head and I would like to share them with you today. If you haven't seen my previous videos, then I will just remind you that I started investing into property about 2 years ago, and so far I bought 3 houses. My last purchase has gone through in February, but I received my keys in May, and the interest rates, the general situation in the property market and in the economy of the country has changed so much that right now I'm stuck, and very soon I will have a very important decision to make. So for now, what's left for me is just sit here and think about my options of what I'm going to do next with the house and in general with property investing. For now, I have 3 options: selling the house, refinancing the house, or keeping all my cash in that property. And each one of these options has its advantages and disadvantages. So talking about the disadvantages, selling the house will mean that I will most probably have to wait for a long time for the purchase to go through, because that's the reality of nowadays. It takes a very long time for the purchase to be completed, and as far as I understand, because of the stagnant market, a lot of people, a lot of buyers understand the situation and they are trying to renegotiate the price at the end of this process. So I will not have the access to this cash in case the property price falls and or I find a very good deal and I need this cash to buy the next property. At the same time, I will scare my renters off because the house is already rented to a nice and lovely family. They will have to start looking for somewhere else. They might find somewhere else, move out of my house, and then the purchase will fall through and I will end up without cash and without renters. On top of that, the house might not get sold for the price that I want to get for it, just because of the market. And I think at the moment it's the buyer's market. They decide how much they want to pay for the house, and if they decide that they want to pay less than what I want to get, then I will have no choice but to accept this offer. The other problems include fees, because I will have to pay the capital gain tax on all the profit that I make, if I make any. Plus on top of that, I will have to pay the estate agency fees. If I'm taking the mortgage on the same house, then it's a debt, so I don't have to pay those fees. But if I sell the house, then I will just have to suck it up, and it's gonna cost me a lot of cash, so I will try to avoid doing it if I can. On top of that, if I sell the house, it will feel like a big step backwards for me because of all the energy and time that I spent on this house. I will not get my passive income that I'm getting right now from the renters, and the cash that I will get will end up in the bank losing its value anyway because of the high inflation. The next option is to keep all my cash in this house and not bother selling it or refinancing it. The downside of this approach is that to get my money back with the current rate of rental prices, it will take me about 20 years, which is not the best return on investment. And having all my cash in this house is not ideal, because in case the prices fall and I want to buy another property, I will not be able to do so because I simply don't have enough cash. I also will not be able to invest into other assets like stocks and shares or crypto with a lump sum. And the biggest risk is if I keep all the cash in this house and the prices of houses fall, it will mean that my cash that I have invested in this house loses not just its value due to the inflation, but also due to the crash in the property market. And the last option is refinancing it. Refinancing also has its downsides, and there are a lot. Well, first of all, it's the current interest rates for mortgages, which are high, and a very unstable situation, which will mean that I will probably not even be able to get as much money as I would like to. And then as soon as I do it, I will have another dilemma of whether I should lock the interest rate in and if I do so, then for how many years, or I should take a variable rate and just take the risk, hoping that the interest rates will go down. I will also reduce my monthly passive income because my monthly payments to the bank will be high. Of course, there is also a huge risk that in several months or several years I will not be able to pay this mortgage out, and then I will just lose the whole house to the bank because it will have to get repossessed. And another big problem for me is me not really knowing what I'm going to do with the cash once I refinance it. The cash that the bank will give me will end up losing its value due to the inflation, plus on top of that I will have to pay the interest rate, which will make my losses really high. Of course, there are also some positive sides that I also have to mention and consider. If I sell the house, then if the purchase goes through quickly, then it's the most stress-free and the safest option for me, because I will have this cash in the current market. I would say this is probably the best option. Of course, keeping the cash in the bank is not the end goal, and I will want to continue as soon as the prices of houses go down, and I will hopefully have then enough cash to buy something bigger or find a better deal, because as a cash buyer I will be able to negotiate the price, and most probably I will get a better price than someone with a mortgage. Leaving the cash in the house also has its positive sides. For example, it will mean that I will be able to maintain quite a healthy passive income every month, and I will be able to take a little bit from this passive income and reinvest into the stocks and shares market or into the crypto market. It's not going to be a lump sum, which is what I would prefer to do, but little by little is not the worst option anyway. The positive sides of refinancing the house is me having the cash in the bank to be able to continue investing into property if I decide to, if I see the good opportunity. I also will be able to continue trading and investing into stocks and shares market and into crypto market. And even with the current interest rates for mortgages, my ROI will be higher than if I leave all the cash inside this house, but there is a very big risk that it will get undervalued, and my ROI will depend on the valuation, the bank valuation of the house massively. From what I understand right now, the valuers are not keen on taking high risks and they would rather undervalue the house. So the current stress tests, which are very tight, and the current valuation problems are a really big concern for me. Talking about the most likely outcomes right now, as far as I can see this situation and where I think the situation is going, selling is the least likely decision I'm going to take because I have very lovely renters there and they just moved in, and I know that they wanted this house very much, and I would just feel bad. But of course I understand that as an investor, especially a property investor, you have to think about your own profits. It's not a charity that you're doing. At the same time, I must admit, it makes me feel really bad thinking that I would have to come and say, look, I know that we agreed that you're going to be a long-term renters and your children go to the school nearby, but you will probably have to find somewhere else because I decided this is how I'm going to save my money. But I really hope that it will not get to that, especially because of all the fees that I have to pay. It just makes very little sense to me and for a lot of hassle. In regards to refinancing it or keeping all my cash inside this house, I think it's gonna be a waiting game which I will have to play, because honestly I don't know what's going to happen with the interest rates. I doubt I would be brave enough to take the variable rate, and most probably if I end up taking the mortgage, I'm gonna lock the interest rate for 2 years and see where we are in 2 years. Well, anyway, I still have about a month to think and take the decision, because the 6-month period after the purchase will run out at the end of November, and I guess we will just have to wait and see. For now, let me know what you think about my situation and what you would do. I would be really grateful for your comments. Thank you very much, guys, for watching me today, and I hope to see you soon in my next videos. Bye bye.